Sponsored by City Mission from Washington, Pennsylvania. Hello and welcome to Bizburgh. I'm your host, John Hall. It is great to be with you on this day. We're happy to welcome back to the show Dean Gartland. Dean is the president and the CEO of City Mission. And Dean, friend, it's always good to have you with us because you always bring a measure of optimism to the radio. It's much needed, but you have it in abundance at City Mission.
Well, thank you, John. It's good to be here again, and I'm glad that you see it that way. That's the abundance of optimism. But I think in the work that we're doing here at City Mission, it's hard not to be optimistic because when you see what's happening in the lives of the men, women, the veterans that we serve here, and how God is changing people's lives and giving them hope, I really do feel optimistic about what's happening.
That's good. I mean, Dean, it can't be easy, right? Because for every success story that you have, there has to be stories as well of, people struggling to try to get sober in one way or another, to try to come to terms with their life. And, there are successes, but there are also failures. So I'm sure that you carry that with you and try to communicate that to a wider audience of what it is to be sober in this dark and desperate world. But, I know always with City Mission, and especially, as we're coming out of this period of COVID, these last 12 to 14 months, you yourself and City Mission have met with really unique challenges because, you're such a central part of the Washington, PA community. And like everybody else, you've had to shut down and make adjustments. And so you've had that core group of people, whether it's your staff that has been with you or those residents who are fortunate to get in before things shut down. I mean, here you are right now, as difficult as things have been for you. And, a lot can be said about that. The good news is you're coming out, but congratulations of getting through this really difficult period.
Well, yeah, this is that's one of the things about COVID. It's no obviously respecter of persons. So, and homelessness doesn't stop. It just doesn't stop because COVID, because there's a pandemic, and so we've had consistently had people calling, wanting a place to stay, looking for a place to stay, and we have always, all the way through COVID, even though we had to slow things down drastically in order to make sure to protect those men and women that are on our campus, as well as protecting our staff. So we had to slow things down dramatically, but we always continue to provide services, and people that were in the program at the time, as they're making their way through and graduating and completing the program and getting jobs and apartments and moving out into the community. I mean, this is none of that has stopped, and so the job training, the chapel services, the spiritual work that we do, our medical clinic, everything continued. We had to make some adjustments to all that and how quickly we were doing things or how fast things were getting done. So we had to slow things down. Our volunteers, we had to slow down to almost basically a drip, I guess, if you want to put it that way. Just very few volunteers, if any, were coming on our campus. And because, again, we wanted to keep our volunteers safe because they're very important to us, our staff, and as well as our residents, to keep everybody safe. And so we did everything that we could possibly do to make sure that everybody was, that our program continued to operate, but everybody stayed safe in the midst of that operation so that we didn't, nobody was getting a lack of service. Everyone was getting the full amount of service that the City Mission provides. It's just that we had to slow down the number of people coming in at any given time. So we did slow it down. We had, to so many per week. And so as those people were leaving, as people were getting jobs and moving out into the community, we were filling those beds with other people coming in. But we did slow it down quite a bit just to make our way through here. And fortunately, I'm really pleased to be able to say that we were able to keep the COVID infections on our campus to a minimal. Just a few staff had contracted the infection, a few of our residents as well, but we quarantined them. We even worked out a situation with a local hotel so that new people coming in would be quarantined before we let them on our campus. And we were able to work out, now that there's vaccines available, we were able to get about 90% of our residents vaccinated. Only a few staff remain that haven't been vaccinated. So everybody here has been vaccinated, and I am just pleased to see that how well our staff stepped up to the plate, never missed a day of work, came in in the midst of all this, the risk that they take just to be here to make sure our residents are being served and cared for, was really remarkable.
I mean, it is remarkable when you think about, what's swept across the country and how you're able to dodge that. So a lot of that, I'm sure, is, excuse me, your protocol and your planning, Dean, to make sure that staff and residents were safe. Hey, Dean, what I really, really admire about City Mission is, you think about this past year, the government has been printing money and then, giving it away as quickly as possible. And, billions and billions of dollars. Now, because City Mission has Jesus clearly at the heart of what they do in their ministry, helping men and women recover from a lifetime of addiction. You choose not to accept government money. I mean, it would be easy to nod your head and hold out your hand and cash a big check. But because you've got Jesus with you, the government doesn't want to hear that kind of conversation. They've got strictures in place. There's, laws that are against that of helping faith-based organizations. So you're existing solely on people who are working alongside the ministry and the mission of City Mission. Can you talk about that and, how you need that money coming in from those people who are committed to your ministry and the fundraising means as well to ensure that that money continues to flow so men and women can find their way through recovery in Jesus?
Yeah, sure, John. This is, again, one of the unique things about the City Mission. And I know sometimes, people, many times they think, well, you have a medical clinic there, you're billing for services, you've got insurance, the government is, helping you to, provide money so that you can house people and feed them. But that's not the case. Our medical services are free. Our housing and our meals are free. So it's not. So we're not. There's not that burden that our people walking into the mission have to carry with them. These services are being provided to them free of charge. But it's only because people care and love the people walking through these doors who ask for help. And so our donors are critically important to us. Both individuals, our businesses that support the mission, churches who support the mission. It's an incredible array, an army of just donors who just wrap their arms around the mission and say, listen, we believe in what you're doing. We believe that people deserve an opportunity to change their life, to go from being a person homeless, addicted, to a person with employment who's got a job, got their own place, providing for themselves. And that's always been our goal here at the mission is independence. And we don't want anybody being dependent on the mission. We don't want people dependent on the government. We want them to be self-dependent and dependent on God, if anything. If they're going to be dependent on anything, be dependent on Him and be able to go out into this community with a full-time job, an apartment, an income that can sustain them in the community. That's our goal. And that's what we see happening in the lives of the men and women that come here. This is people that come here because they think, well, I'm just looking for some food and shelter. When they get here, they realize it is so much more than that. It's a job training program. It's a spiritual development program. It's a life skills program. So people come here, they have an opportunity to really change their lives, and then we get to witness that, and our donors share in that benefit. That's the return on their investment is a changed life, productive life, back in society, living independently.
Fabulous. You're Dean Gartland here on Bizburgh. If you want to check out City Mission and be part of this ministry, online, citymission.org, citymission.org, or by calling directly, City Mission 724-222-8530. That's 724-222-8530. Let's talk to one of your residents, Dean. I always love it when you bring a guest on, and the guest is always happy to share their story, their experience, and their strength and their hope. And today, you brought a resident on. His name is Mo. Mo, I want to welcome you to the show. How are you?
Hey, not bad. Thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure, Mo. Thank you, for the courage to step out and to share with our audience about your story. I know it's, not an easy thing to entrust yourself into people's lives and to say, this is who I am, warts and all. But, it's an act of courage. So I appreciate that. If you don't mind, why don't you go back to the beginning and tell us your story about what you used to be like in your young life, and then what happened and where you are now.
Yeah. Well, I was, I was brought up in a pretty decent home until, my mom and dad got divorced, and I was till about 10, 11. And it was more or less, growing up the youngest, and my parents owned a bar, things like that. So I was around drugs and alcohol a lot. My mom worked all the time, so I had a lot of free time as a kid. Yeah. And I experimented with a lot of drugs and alcohol, and not going to school and going to school, not doing right. Then sometimes I get on track, barely graduated. However, I ended up getting myself together and found out I was pretty good at retail. So I became a retail manager, Foot Locker, things like that. Yeah. And did pretty well, and then I got hooked on drugs and wasn't showing up to work, and and back and forth, and not doing well. Just started living an undesirable life. Yeah. And then that became my job, partying and things of that sort.
Yeah, and, to manage that, it's easy to fall into a lifestyle like that, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, and it's very, very hard to get out. And I want to thank the mission. I had a talk with my mom, and I was here, they say 10, 12 years ago, and met a guy, and I praised him pretty much that, he helped me, and I was brought up in a spiritual home, but didn't pay attention, didn't really know too much about Jesus, believe it or not. And I met one of the staff members here, and he introduced me to Jesus, believe it or not, and I started learning how to read the Bible and get spiritual, and learn how to pray. And I was praying, but they weren't truly prayers. They were sort of phony, just to get me out of stuff. So, right. I've been and there. And it's a long story, and went to jail, did one of those things, and didn't know how to get out of it. And I went to one place, and it was a short-term thing, and they pretty much let you go and said, find a spot. And then that's, like I was saying, I was talking to my mother, and she mentioned the city mission, and it's sparked her remembrance of it because there was that fire that happened here. Yeah. And that's what sparked her memory. And I said, oh yeah, I heard about that. And it's sort of it didn't set good with me, and then she said, well, isn't that the place that helped you out before, and you stay clean and sober, and and you got your myself together? And I said, yeah. And she wanted me to remember the guy's name, and I'll never forget his name. His name is Doug Bush. And she said, give him a call. And I did, and I met a friend that knew him, and I got the number from him, and then I gave him a call, and then he remembered me, and I didn't think he would remember me, but he remembered me. And he said, well, let me tell you about the program. He introduced me. It's Christian-based. There's a work therapy, and there's a lot of other things that go along with it. There was I wanted to get a CDL, and he said, we could help you do that. And, the computer services, a lot of things. But now I'm here now. I'm here now, and I'm learning a lot about myself and my addiction, things that I didn't know.
Mo, how long have you been at City Mission?
I've been there going on. Let me see. I've been counting the days, so I've been here about 135 days. I've been counting the days, and
you've been sober. Is that about 135 days sober?
Yeah, absolutely. See, 6 weeks will be my 6 months, actually.
Very good. That feels good, doesn't it?
Oh yeah. Yes, it does. I got my self-esteem back. I'm smiling. Yeah. I'm shaking hands, looking people in the eyes, and I'm sharing. I'm sharing the things that it's hard not to share. It's hard not to share. I got into the habit of when I go in chapel, I go straight to the pew. Then I get up and I hit my knees. I'm not worried about what people are saying. I'm learning how to pray on a regular basis, and it makes me feel good inside. I'm being honest. I'm facing my fears. Introducing me to 12-step program, and that works. Yeah. So, and I'm learning. I'm getting educated, and I have more value to myself. I feel great. I feel great.
Excellent. Congratulations. There's a lot to be said for that, right? When you look in the mirror and you, instead of, cursing yourself and going, you again, you see someone, you go, I love you. Okay. We can make this work. There's a lot to be said for that. You look at the world and you think, I want to be part of that. The world is good. So you found a community, you found a place, you found hope, you found Jesus. I would say from hearing what you have to say, the future looks good.
Yes. And it's amazing. It's amazing, and they care. They care.
They do.
They truly care, and I know that. And I'm not just saying that. And it's a good feeling to for someone to come up and say, hey, how are you feeling? How are you feeling today? You're looking good. You look a lot better than what you looked when you came in. And that means a lot. That means a lot, and it's structured. It's structured. There's no time wasted. I've been going to meetings every day, and I look forward to waking up. And it's great. The people are kind. You can't manipulate prayer. I learned that here. You have to be truly honest, and the people here know. They know exactly what you need, and they put you in the right direction. They really, truly do.
When I hear you talk about it, it is true. You hear a lot of different, sayings and whatnot, but Mo, it sounds like you got a new life in Christ. That's the bedrock of it all. The faith and the community and the people that are around you. You're going to reinvent yourself as a new person, and the future looks bright for you. So congratulations on that.
Hey, thank you very much.
Yeah, my pleasure, really. I'm praying for you, Mo. That's good stuff. So
I appreciate that.
Thanks, Mo. There you have it. In a nutshell, that's what City Mission does, right? People walk in one way, and if anyone listening right now has been struggling with alcohol or drugs or anything, the maladies of what it is to be a human being in this dark and dangerous world. City Mission, since the 1940s, has been a beacon of hope for thousands and thousands and thousands of men and women. And clearly, right in the middle of it all, is the truth and the grace and the forgiveness of Jesus Christ in all of our lives. So kudos to City Mission for the excellent work that they continue to do. And if you hear this, you hear Mo's story. Mo.
They believe in completion. They want you to complete things. They don't want you just leaving in a halfway point. They want you to complete things. They're truly about completion, and that's what I feel.
That's good. So if you hear Mo and you hear the message, I would encourage you to look at City Mission online, citymission.org, citymission.org, or directly call City Mission 724-222-8530 with the excellent work that they've done. So Mo, thanks an awful lot for that story of experience and strength and hope, and I appreciate that. Let's go back and talked to Dean Gartland. Dean is the president and the CEO of City Mission. And Dean, again, I mean, there's a story of Mo, a resident of the mission, and utilizing the tools that you have necessary available for the residents. And for all intents and purposes, it looks like Mo's on a new track and turning his life around, isn't he?
Yeah, Mo is a gentleman who is taking advantage of the resources that are available to him here at the mission, and he's taking advantage of those people around him. He's taking suggestions. He's listening to what is being taught and being instructed, and so when people do that, when they come and they are able to, swallow their pride, come in and say, you know what. And one of the things I've said to many of the residents who walk through our door is that, listen, just remember this, your best thinking got you here. So now it's time for you to start taking some suggestions and listening to other people. And when they're able to do that and realize that, hey, you know what, I've tried it my way, and maybe now I give God a chance to do something in my life that I've never let him do before. And
Absolutely.
and the miracle happens.
Absolutely.
That's good. Hey, Dean, take a second and talk about, you hear Mo's story. Now, City Mission does a lot of different things. I know that you've got programs for women as well and for women with children. It's unusual that you offer all these different options for people who are in trouble.
Well, yeah, this is something that we've been, just obviously on our hearts because, for a woman to be homeless and to be in some very vulnerable situations that they find themselves in, the City Mission, it really is a safe place, a safe haven, for them to be able to come here and to feel safe and to feel secure. Because unless a person, and particularly for the women, if they don't feel secure or safe in a facility, you're not going to make much progress in helping them on their journey, in their walk with Christ, or even in the classes and things that they are attend every day. So it's really important that our community here feels safe, and so we have gone to great lengths to make sure that our campus is a safe place for men and women to be able to live, to have community here, to support one another and to help each other. And so seeing that happen, and that's why folks like Mo or folks like Rebecca or folks like Sally or other people that we've had on our shows in the past, that makes it worthwhile, and for them to be able to be safe and to be able to take advantage of the resources that the City Mission offers. And so the miracle does happen, and sometimes it happens in ways that maybe we don't expect, but the miracle will happen when people surrender to Christ here, whether it's at the City Mission or wherever they're at. If they're able to surrender to Christ, the miracle will happen.
Amen to that. City Mission online at citymission.org or by calling directly 724-222-8530. Hey, Dean, of course, always money flow is critical to the operation of the excellent work that you do at City Mission. You've got a couple of things, and now the good news is with COVID lifting and those restrictions, people are going to gather once again. You've got a golf outing and a 5K run.
Yeah, we're pretty excited about being able to get back to some of these events, because these events obviously are critical to helping to keep our doors open and keep our services available to those who walk through our doors. But our 5K walk run this year is going to be on August 7th. And people can go online at citymission.org, and they can look up the information about that. And if they would like to sponsor that event, everything about that 5K walk run goes to support our homeless veterans here at the Crabtree Kovacic Veterans House that's right here on our campus. And so all the proceeds will go to benefit that program. We also have a golf outing, which will also be in August 23rd, and at the South Point Golf Club. And again, people can go online if they want to be a sponsor, or if they want to golf, they can go online and begin to register now, because that golf outing usually fills up pretty quick. So I encourage our listeners that if you're a golfer and you'd like to support a great cause at the City Mission, please go online and, register and or get your company to be a sponsor and to sponsor that event. The return on your investment is great in the lives of the men and women we serve.
Fabulous. Okay, so if you're one of those outdoor golfers or runners and longing for a little physical activity after a year of laying off, here's a good excuse to go out there and be part of something really good, super big, to equip and encourage and engage City Mission and their mission to help transform lives of men and women, to give them new life in Christ. It's a wonderful thing. Would encourage you to check it out online at citymission.org, citymission.org, or by calling 724-222-8530. Hey, always, it's been a great pleasure to be with you. This has been Bizburgh, program sponsored by City Mission of Washington, Pennsylvania, and we'll see you next time. Have a great day.